one of my favorite books, The Untethered Soul, and it says, when you view problems as agents for growth, that's when everything changes.
This doesn't happen. You go down this road, generally, that it ends there, right? What sparked in your head where I was like, I gotta make my way back?
I am never gonna get out of here. I'm here. I can't stop using drugs. I live to use and I use to live.
Welcome back to Killing Conversations, episode 12. Today, I am with co-founder, chief growth officer, Ashley Stone. She has a tech company here in St. George called InCircle, and the incredible journey that Ashley has taken to get to this point, it's going to be something really special to hear. So thanks for coming on, Ashley. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And so your journey is so unique, and it's so, if people looked at and saw where you're at right now, leading this company and leading, honestly, something that's growing so quickly and making such a huge impact for people, if they understood what InCircle is, which we'll get into, then they'll understand what your story behind that.
Yeah.
And so I would love for our listeners and people that are watching this podcast to get to hear a little bit about your journey and where you started.
Yeah. Well, I was a heroin addict, which
let's just drop the mic.
Drop the ball on the listeners. And my life was in shambles, and I was in and out of treatment 15 plus times. And
how many years did that range?
So my first treatment center was when I was 16. I got sent to an adolescent facility for 15 months. If you've seen the documentary on Netflix called The Program, that's where I went.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Shut down now for child abuse lawsuits and all kinds of things. But actually, I had a good experience. So I have my own opinions on all of that. But
yeah.
That's the first one I went to. That was in 2006. And then I ended up getting sober in 2013. But in the span of 8 years, I was in and out of jail, in and out of rehab. My parents, they had exhausted all resources trying to get me help. I was on death's doors. I was really... I was living in a drug house in Arizona, shooting up heroin with a whole family of people that were also shooting up heroin and selling drugs.
Wow.
And my dad, he was a teacher here at the Dixie Tech College here.
Uh-huh.
So, and he basically dropped everything to come rescue me. And he's literally amazing. And then I ended up in the Salvation Army in Fresno, California, and I spent 6 months there, and I went to a cold turkey detox in Fresno. And if you know Fresno,
unfortunately, I do know Fresno.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. My youngest brother went to Fresno State, and so I do know Fresno.
So it's
I don't know
hardcore.
if unfortunate is the right word, but
yeah, it's very hardcore. Lots of gangs.
Yeah.
So a free detox there is no walk in the park. It was.
I could
I'm
imagine.
like this little girl from Utah and in there with all these oh my gosh, it was wild. But it was what I needed. I needed my butt kicked a little bit, and that's what happened. So went to Salvation Army. I don't know if you, just being completely transparent, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
And I, coming back to the church was a huge part of that for me. And the Salvation Army is a Christian-based program, and it kind of reintroduced me to Christ.
Yeah.
And then I came back to St. George, and I just kind of dove into that community. That really was kind of what made a difference for me after all of these different treatment centers. And
did you feel like it was really accepting when you came back? Because there's stigmatisms behind the church and Utah in general.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like when you came back, you were just fully accepted?
Yeah. I honestly, I didn't care. I was I'm going to go to church and I'm going to see if God shows up for me here.
Yeah.
That was what I was showing. I had already been on the arrest page. Everybody already knew, and
that's when pictures were able to be on the arrest. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah.
My pictures were on there frequently. And it's funny because like even here at Kiln, I run into people that I haven't seen in 20 years, and I'm like, oh yeah, you probably remember me as the old drug addict, trashed girl all the time.
Did they let you in here?
Yeah,
Like what?
Yeah, exactly. And so, but yeah, I didn't feel that at all. I didn't care exactly, but interestingly enough, and you may want to cut this later, but interestingly enough, I felt more judgment as being an active member of the church from like people that are out of the church
Really?
than I have ever feeling judged in the church. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's such like an opposite thought, but I mean, like, but you wouldn't know unless you were in it. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's super interesting because, like, basically, so coming back to something, right? Whether that's religion or whether that's a job or whether that's just regular life, coming from where you currently were, that has to be like such a huge like inspiration per se, like to do something big. It's like I was given this second chance to do something, right? And I want to shout out your husband because I think he's awesome and he's got a really successful business here. That's where you met him, right? Was during that journey.
I met him at the LDS 12-step addiction recovery meeting when I was 18 and he was 23. And I don't know what I was doing there. I had no plans of staying sober. I just like showed up one day and he was there and he won the national championship at Dixie State back in the day. He was like very, very good baseball player. Gave it all up for drugs. And so that was a hard thing for him. And so he's in his college years showing up to 12-step, me too. And it's crazy because now him and I are both missionaries in the LDS addiction recovery program.
No kidding.
So here we are like however many years later, like 17 years later, and we're missionaries in the program. And so it's a really cool full circle moment. But yeah, he also he's been sober for just a couple months shy of what I have. Yeah. So 12 years. So
it's impressive. No, and it's super cool because you get to have that relation, like you've been through the same thing. And now you guys are both on these separate but very similar business journeys too, which is actually pretty exciting.
Yeah,
and
totally.
So I kind of want to, so it's when people are listening, like, this doesn't happen. Like this generally doesn't happen to majority of the population. You go down this road generally that it ends there, right? Mm-hmm. What was it that what sparked in your head where I was like, I got to make my way back?
Well, in recovery, they say when the pain of the challenge or when the pain of changing becomes less than the pain of staying the same, that's when you'll change. And it got to the point where, I was living in that drug house in Arizona for over a year. And like, I knew I was stuck. Like I was stuck there. And I just was like, I am never going to get out of here. Like I'm here. I can't stop using drugs. Like I live to use and I use to live. And that was my life. And it just got to the point where I was like, I like don't have it in me to try and like, I just don't have it in me anymore. Like I don't. And so when my dad drove me to Fresno, I was just like in the middle of nowhere. I didn't know anybody. And usually like I was resourceful enough that I could find drugs no matter where I was.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I was exhausted. And I finally was like, the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change.
Wow.
So.
It's deep.
Yeah.
It's super deep. And I think like it's so impressive because of what you're doing now. Right. And I want to talk a little bit about InCircle now. And so InCircle is your company that you just started. How long ago was that?
So it's been about 3 years now since we started.
Yeah. So pretty new company. Mm-hmm. And the growth that you've had has been insane. Like it really has been. And for a company to do what you're doing now in 3 years is really impressive. And it shows that and we'll get into exactly what it is, but for background, like it just shows the passion behind it, one, but then also the need for what you're doing. Yeah. And so would you give me like the pitch of InCircle?
So InCircle is, I'll tell you the backstory of like kind of how it started.
Please.
So My brother Paul, who's also been on your podcast, and he, just shout out to Paul. I would not be where I am today without my brother. Like he always saw my potential and pushed me to go for it. Always.
Yeah.
Like from the time he got me into my first job at Great Harvest and then Fabulous Freddy's here in St. George until he got me into selling pest control, which completely changed my life.
Oh, I
and
bet.
taught me I could
It's
sell.
where the sales, yeah.
And I did pest control for 4 years. He just pushed me, and then he got me a job. I was about it was in 2019, I want to say, or 2019. And my brother was working at a behavioral health software company in the electronic medical record space. So this is basically like
this is pre-Corso?
Pre-Corso.
Wow.
Yeah. This was like if you go to the doctor and they're entering in your information and they are taking your notes and your vitals and they're inputting all that information, basically that's what that is, but for addiction recovery programs.
Gotcha.
So, and my brother was looking for a sales rep at the time or somebody to set meetings for him. He was an AE. And he's like, Ash, you have to do this. Like, it would be so awesome. And I was like, I don't know. Like, you know, I was kind of doing some other things, and he's like, come on, you'll be so great at it. And I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, and Paul he's a great hype man. Like, he's just the best. So I was like, yes. And so we started doing this, and the company was like, oh my gosh, like they were tracking back all of the closed deals, and they were like, these are all from Ashley's cold calls. Like,
no kidding.
Yeah. Like it just like transformed the company, this new way of me cold calling. And I was like, what? I don't even have to sell them. I just have to get them to show up for a meeting. Heck yeah. Like that's easy.
Just pick up the phone.
Yeah. Pick up the phone. And I had been done door to door forever. So I was like, this is easy.
Yeah.
So I had he had me doing that, and we did that for, I don't know, like a year and a half. And then they wanted me to go to AE. So I did. And then I moved up to senior AE. And then I had been there for almost 4 years. And then I had met with thousands of treatment centers all over the country.
For sure.
And one of the biggest things I had noticed was that treatment centers were manually following up with their alumni. They were calling, they were emailing, and I knew from my own personal experience, like I was never followed up with. I mean, I do want to give a shout out for my administrator from the Salvation Army. He's like this grandpa that sends me a Christmas card every year.
No
He's
kidding.
literally the cutest.
That's awesome.
But generally speaking, it is, I mean, if you're sending an email to somebody, like nobody's opening their emails unless it's like their work email and they have to.
Or you bought something.
Yeah.
Like for tracking, right?
Yes. And so anyways, these treatment centers actually are required to follow up with their alumni for accrediting purposes.
Oh, really?
So
yeah, for like funding and stuff like that.
Insurance reimbursement. And so they have to do like a 30, 60, 90-day follow-up post-treatment. And it's just good because if your alumni struggling, then you want to get them back into care.
Yeah.
And so there's ROI for the business, which it's kind of icky to talk about the ROI, but it's true. I went to the same treatment center like 5 times. Sometimes you're just not ready. So anyways, so we developed this software. I had been seeing that they were doing that manually. And so I had a friend at the time, Paul introduced me to him too.
Yeah.
And he had a company that was doing text-based follow-up. And I was doing some sales consulting for him, just kind of like helping him get his SDR team going and kind of like helping him set it up. And I was like, hey, could you build something similar to what you have today, but could you do this for behavioral health treatment centers? And could we like collect information on the alumni? And he's like, oh yeah, totally. And so he created this like PDF of what it could look like. Yeah. And I was like, let's freaking go. And I took this PDF and I sold our first account, and it was like a $20,000 account. And we're like, okay, onboarding is going to take like 2 months while we build this.
Gotta actually build it. Right.
And so, and Zach, that's who my other co-founder is. And the thing about Zach is that he was just like, yeah, we can do that. Like, totally. Like, why wouldn't we be able to do that? And like, that's still so to this day, like our product girl, Jessica, she'll be like, Zach, are you serious? Like, no, we can't do that right now. Like,
That's so, because he's just ready to do it.
He's like,
and he can.
Yeah. He's like, we can do anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, you sell it and I'll build it and let's go.
That's so cool.
And so it was him just like believing, like when we first started, I was like, I can't start a company. Like, what, Yeah. But he just like believed we could do it. And that was like so contagious. And so we just went for it. And then I just took everything that I learned in sales from our whole team. Everything we have built is from cold calls. Everything.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And this kind of get into like nerdy sales stuff. Like, what kind of platforms are you guys using? What kind of like lead generations are you using?
We use HubSpot to just for our whole
track
team.
All your leads.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, our team we work together. We go to conferences and meet people, but it's all very organic outreach, and it's been awesome. I found that in behavioral health, like connection is a huge thing, and so our team just uses authenticity and connection, and we've built like this team that I've never, like, culture's so big for me.
For sure.
Because I've been on sales teams that are just like
pretty toxic. Yeah.
And so we're like a family, and it's my favorite.
And you guys go out and do fun stuff all the time.
I'm like, hey guys, let's go.
We're going to go hiking. We're going to have a pool party.
Yes.
We can do all these things,
Yeah, we do. And it's super fun, and I love my team so much. And I try to like create for them the atmosphere that I would have wanted as a sales rep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's like key, right? And I said this recently on a episode where it's your sales, it can be really simple. You're selling a personality, or you're selling yourself, not the product. The product's there to just solve a problem for you, but what you're really selling is that genuine connection, right? And it seems like the team that you have and the team that you're building, that's why things are going so well. It's because they're so good at genuinely connecting with people.
Totally. Yeah. Yes. I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
And so now that we know, like, from selling a PDF, explain what InCircle is. Like, explain the software. Like, what do people get when they sign up? What do these treatment centers now get from you guys, giving them this software and this platform to basically, I mean, to put it like really broad, it's saving lives.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It really is.
Yep. So we integrate with their EMR so that as soon as the alumni discharges from the program, they're put in a follow-up cadence all over text message, which yields the highest response. Yeah. So if I've relapsed and I am struggling and I get a text message from my treatment center that's like, hey, Ashley, wanted to check in, see how you're doing. The phone can weigh 1,000 pounds when you need to pick up a phone and call.
Right.
But if you get a text, it's so much easier to open up, and especially if you're struggling with relapse.
For sure.
So our whole purpose is to eliminate all the manual effort that's going into alumni coordinators that are reaching out, and to increase the connection. So we have AI sentiment analysis that's built in on the back end, and it's analyzing these messages so that the staff can quickly go in and see like, oh, Nancy is high risk. Oh, Ben is high risk. I need to reach out to them right now, because it will send an alert to the alumni coordinator that they need to reach out.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And so it keeps them accountable too, right? Obviously, they're doing their best to make sure that everyone's taken care of, but with the amount of people that they probably see, like, it's very hard to keep that organized, I would assume.
Well, and they're using a spreadsheet. So if it's like, okay, I'm going to start at the top of the spreadsheet right now and go down, but what happens if somebody at the bottom of the spreadsheet
needs me now?
Yeah. And so it is just giving them the opportunity to help people that need it right now. It's really cool because some of our all of our customer experience people are former alumni coordinators themselves, or have worked in treatment in that space. So they serve as not only somebody that's onboarding them on the software, but also as a consultant for alumni programs.
I didn't know that. That's actually really cool. Yeah. That just kind of creates it like a full circle thing. You're not just like handing something off.
Right.
And it's something that from the top down you've experienced, you know what I mean? Like, you've been through this circle and this cycle, and you can see where the pain points were. And basically, like, it's just sales. You're solving a problem that needs to be solved. You know what I mean? And I think I think it's so inspiring, and it's so like needed, right? How many, like, how are things going right now? Because I get to hear pretty frequently how your team's doing and stuff like that. Like, how has this been? How has the adoption been of this new thing that you've created?
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So not only am I in recovery, but Zach, who is my other co-founder, his sister, he went through the whole addiction process with his sister, who also works for us. So her name's Breck, and she is awesome. And then also we have a lot of other people on our team that are in recovery. Our CMO, Brittany, she's in recovery. She's been here before. I don't know if you've met her, but she's from Tennessee.
Yeah, I probably have. Yeah,
she's come in. Anyway, like I'd say probably 60 to 70% of our team is in recovery themselves.
Wow.
And so
it's personal. It's a personal mission. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very personal.
And I keep saying the word like inspiring, but that's exactly what it is, because it's something that, like, it's funny. Your husband played baseball at Dixie. I also played baseball at Dixie, but
gosh.
And so it's like those things where it's like, this is like a personal mission to be able to like help these people that I was around. Like it's like coaching a kid, right? Where it's like, I was really passionate about this at one point, and this was a huge part of my life. I want to make sure that other people get to feel that same passion that I had, and not, it's kind of like light and dark, right? But like what you're doing is like creating this connection and this like real feeling, because it's a genuine feeling that you have already felt. And so these recovery centers and these people that you're getting to talk to day in and day out are like living what you've lived. And so that's got to be like so rewarding at the end.
Yeah, it's so rewarding. And I think that it's also been rewarding for me as a person, navigating all the highs and lows that come with startup life. Like, startup life is not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not for everybody at all. Yeah.
No, and it's been really hard. And, you know, when you are going into a startup with a co-founder, it's like a marriage. Like, you guys are... It is literally like a marriage, how you have to learn to navigate different problems together. And, but I think that, it's so funny because my husband, he also like, he's in a startup, my brother's in a startup. And so we all kind of like,
get each other.
We get each other. Yeah. And so, but the thing that I've learned is that I have grown so much as a person by being refined by the process. And like, you know, things that would give me a panic attack 3 years ago, like now I'm like, it's just another day at the job.
Just a breeze. Yeah. Right. Probably not a breeze, but it's something that you can handle.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And like, there's a quote from one of my favorite books, The Untethered Soul. And it says, when you view problems as agents for growth, that's when like everything changes. And it's so true. Like if you can see all of these different things that come at you every day, like all these different problems, if you can view that as an agent for growth for yourself, as opposed to being blindsided by everything that comes your way, like it's a game changer for you. And so anyway,
that's super cool. I'm glad you shared that. That'll probably be the thumb tag or the tagline in our post. But
shout out Michael Singer.
Yep.
We love you.
That's so cool. One question that I like to ask everybody that's in this entrepreneurial world, right, is where do you see InCircle in 5 years?
Yeah. Well, I see us. Hopefully we have a team of like 80 people, and we're freaking going to Hawaii for our team trips. And our whole company is going and just crushing it. And
when they listen to this, they're going to hold you to that in like 5 years. Yeah.
Yes, please. I'm going to tell Zach, my co-founder / CEO, like Hawaii, 5 years.
Yep.
You hear this, Zach? But I see us just continuing to grow and add new products and ways of helping the addict who still suffers. So
it's really cool. And I think it already is extremely successful, and I can just see it continuing to get bigger and bigger, which I'm really excited to watch. But
I can see that too.
It's awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap, but thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate you sharing your story. I appreciate you coming on the podcast and being able to just inspire. And thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.